Hi everyone, are you still with us? We got disconnected a bit. Let me know if you are still here. Type something in the chat to confirm. I don't know where I got disconnected, but you are in tune to Arise Wives of Wisdom, the 21-day challenge where we as wives, we look in the mirror and we are here to grow and to develop and to be the best we can be as wives, and those of you who are preparing to be wives. As I was saying, if you were not with us yesterday, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to link where that side. I'm going to link the episode day 16 right here, so definitely go and check that out. Yesterday we dealt with a very challenging topic, the topic of not seeing any changes and how do you cope. Today we're going to be looking at embracing our difference. Embrace. Hi, Alyssa. It's pouring here in kind. Yes, yes. Please, guys, keep safe. Keep safe. Keep warm. Hi, Tamika. Hi, Rochelle. Hi, Alicia. Just keep safe. Janiel is having internet connectivity issues too because of the rain in Jamaica. So I'm so happy that you are still able to be with us this evening. Now, for today, before we head into the Speak Wisdom segment, let's now transition to Practice Wisdom. The Practice Wisdom segment is that time where we invite those of you who are joining for the very first time. You either just subscribed, you are just browsing on YouTube, and you came across Arise Wives of Wisdom, and you want to be the recipient of the freebie. The freebie. The link is in the chat right now, so you could click on that. Simple name, email address, so you can get the freebie and indicate whether you want that yes or no, opt in. And then the second link, hi Katie, I'm flying solo tonight, I feel so lonely. The second link is going to be for the challenge. So every evening, we have a challenge based on the previous episode. So definitely go ahead, click that link and report if you have done the challenge or not. The person who would have completed the most challenge will get that nice freebie at the end of the 21 days. We're still in the Practice Wisdom segment, and I'm going to ask you a favor. Well, not a favor necessarily, but let me know if you are interested. If you have tuned into Arise Wives of Wisdom, this is like the last week, right? This is the last week. So if you have been impacted by Arise Wives of Wisdom in any way, shape, or form, whether you are a wife or a wife to be, I'm going to encourage you to send in your testimonies. Let us know. I'm already getting some, but if you want to make it official and share yours, definitely you could do that by emailing me at womenhealingtogether@gmail.com. That's womenhealingtogether@gmail.com. You could also DM me on Instagram at womenhealingtogether as well. Those are the two media. Oh, and there's our Facebook page, Women Healing Together. So any one of those media can definitely work. If you want to type your testimonial, go ahead and do that. Thank you so much. Womenhealingtogether@gmail.com is on screen. If you want to record a video, 30 seconds to a minute, no longer, right? Because we want to get in as many persons who would like to share. So 30 seconds to a minute, record it landscape, just like you see the recording on YouTube. So record it landscape so that we can share with the ladies. Really looking forward to hear your testimonials. It is now time for the Speak Wisdom segment. Let's dig right in. What is the topic for this evening? The topic is let us embrace our differences, or to embrace our differences. And this is where I hear from you ladies right now in the chat as we're talking about the differences between us and our husbands. And for those who are not yet married, our husbands to be, type in the chat right now. What are some differences between you and your husband if you are married? Differences. You could give one, two, however many, type them in the chat. If you are watching after the live, go ahead and type the difference in the comment section below. If you're not yet married, think about some potential differences that you may have with your husbands to be and type those in the chat. Oh, listen, Miss Calmy, the last time you came, Johnny and I did not realize it was you until after I was watching the recording. I'm like, what, wait, it's Miss Calmy. So hi, Miss Calmy. Let me see the comment again, please. Okay. Good night, lovely ladies. It's such a blessing to oh, we are so happy to have you. Kamai says, hello, good night. I hope everyone is safe, love. Glad to be here tonight. I am safe. I hope. Kershaw, where have you been? Where have you been all the way in Alberta, Canada? Come on. I'm happy that you're here tonight, though. Eliandra, I like to talk through issues. He tends to shut up. All right. So that's one difference. Let us hear the other differences. And I'm going to highlight something because I'm expecting a trend. Eliandra has already shared. Now, as you're typing the differences between you and your husband, and for those not yet married, think about some potential differences that may be in your relationship and let us know. All right, so we're going to dig in right now. For my husband and I, we have some differences, and I'm going to save those for later. I'm going to save those for later. The first thing we want to discuss tonight is the difference between, and if you had joined us, I think it was Saturday evening, last Saturday evening, we spoke up, I hinted to the difference between compatibility and complement. All right. Now, I think it's important for us to revisit that concept in light of the topic for tonight. Now, when you were dating, all right, and for those of you who are dating and will be dating, which one of these words have you heard the most? Do people say, oh, ensure that you have somebody who compliments you? Or do they say, ensure that you find someone with whom you're compatible? Let me know in the chat while I read Rochelle's comment. My husband and I are different in our organization of things. Let me hear some more. What do you mean in terms of organization of things? Okay, great. Rochelle also says he is extroverted while I am more introverted. All right. All right. It's coming out. The differences are coming out. It's very similar with my husband and I. I am more extroverted, though I'm not the extroverted one. My sister actually is the extroverted one. She has the sanguine personality. I'm more of a melancholic and choleric type of personality. My husband is introverted. Eh? I can pick a conversation. I can meet somebody for the very first time and I connect with people very, very easily. My husband takes a little while to warm up to people. He takes a little while to feel connected. Now, let me know in the comments, which one of the C words have you heard most often? Compliment or compatible? Because the truth is, when you think about dating, when you think about looking for that gentleman whom you want to spend the rest of your life with, the word that I have heard the most is compatible. Ensure that you find someone with whom you are compatible. And when we think of compatible, the context usually is someone that you have commonalities with, someone that you share similarities with. Alisa says, I love sports. He does not like sports. Compatible. Rochelle says, that's the, you see, Rochelle, Alicia, Tamika. Compatible is the word. Hi, Orisai, welcome. I saw your follow on Instagram today, so shout out and thanks for following. All right. If you are following me on Instagram, this week we are taking a journey on the topic of vulnerability. So every single day I post something about vulnerability, so you can check us out on Instagram at Women Healing Together. Now let's talk about compatibility and complement. And as I said before, this thought does not originate with me. It was actually gleaned from a counselor, right? From a counseling session that my husband and I were in. So when you think about compatibility, you're thinking about the similarities. You're thinking about the commonalities, things that you have in common. But complement, which is not a concept that I hear a lot in counseling and in dating, it complementing your partner is even more powerful. Why? Because it means embracing the differences and making them work. Remember the analogy I gave, and I'm using the same one that the counselor said to us. When you're compatible, you're like, yes, man, we can rub together, we're similar, we can roll. But when you complement each other, it's like a glove. You're tied together. Deep principles, yes, but also there are differences. Because one hand is pointed in this direction, the other hand is pointed in this direction. But when the fingers lock, right, it's a tight grasp. So think about it now. Is it that the differences that we have in marriage, do they have to be some things that are negative? Because most times, let me know in the comments, most times when we think about differences, we are really talking about the negative thing. I like to talk, he doesn't like to talk, or he chats too much and I don't like to talk a lot. I like sport, but he doesn't like sports. Why doesn't he like sports like me? And then we could have a great time. But we're going to be shifting our perspective this evening as it relates to differences. If you are with me, type 100 in the chat so I know that you are here. I told you I'm feeling a little bit lonely because Johnny is not here. So I definitely need your company. Don't leave me. Don't go anywhere. I beg thee. All right, great. So we have looked at the difference between compatibility and complement. All right. And I'm hoping that we're heading into the mindset that we are more focused on complementing each other because we're already good with compatibility. We're already good with the similarities. We're going to be focusing on the difference this evening. Thank you, Tamika. I have a witness. I have a witness. Now, have we ever considered that our differences in our relationship? Thank you, Gordon. Thank you. Rochelle says, I wouldn't be attracted to my husband if he was exactly like me. Diversity is good. You get to love. Bam. This is the next point that I'm heading into right now, Rochelle. Can we look at our differences? Can they be blessings? Instead of looking at them through the eyes of negativity, through the eyes of, oh, he's not like me, or hubby saying she's not like me, I wish she was more. How can we leverage our differences so that they can be blessings in our marriage? And one way, as you rightly said, is that our differences allow us to learn from each other. Guys, something weird just happened today. I'm sorry. This is an insertion. It's like I experienced deja vu a while ago. Has that ever happened to you? Like literally just happened to me. I've been in this situation before in this very same blouse, doing a rise of wisdom by myself. That was weird. That was really, really weird. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that insertion, but that was weird. Give me a moment. Okay. Okay. What are some of the blessings of our differences? Kamai says, I've always heard I need someone to match my energy. That energy thing you see. So, everybody, energy. Yes. But what if it's different? Just as how you need water to cool down the fire. Yeah. And when it's hot, you need the water. And when it's too cold, you need the fire, right? So I want us to embrace the difference this evening. That comment that came up a while ago, who was that? Was it Gordon? Oh, Cyborg, you saw it in your dream before. It seems so, girl. It was so weird just now, like really, really weird. All right, let's look at some of the differences and talk to me. How can the differences in your relationships, in your marriage be a blessing? Rochelle already shared that we can learn from each other. So I can learn from my husband's strength, and I may be weak in that area, and he is also helping me and I'm helping him. So let me know. One of the things, one of the blessings of differences is that variety is the spice of life. As Rochelle said, she would never want to be married to her husband, even really interested in him. She wouldn't be attracted to him if she was looking at another Rochelle. It would be so boring, you know what I mean? The blessing too of the difference is that it opens the door for new experiences. Yeah, it opens the door. I'm a house girl. Yeah. I'm a house rat. I love being at home. My husband is the type, he likes to go out, right? He likes to go out on adventures. And sometimes I would much rather stay home. Please, I would much rather stay home. But when I allow our differences, right, I see them in the positive, then I end up having new experiences. Another difference with my husband is it relates to food. I'm the type of person, I am willing to try different cuisines. I get excited over food. I like to try have different tastes. My husband is not like that. He doesn't. He wants to stick to his dumpling and ackee and saltfish, what he knows, his Jamaican food. But when we lean into that difference, it allows him to have new experience. And then he tries things and he realizes, oh, I really like that. I never thought I would, but it tastes great, right? Another blessing of our difference is that it gives us added perspective. It gives us added perspective and insight. We may not see things or appreciate things in a particular way or appreciate it any at all, but when we lean in and we accept the difference, it allows us to see things through a different perspective. And also it gives us balance. This is what being complementary is all about. It gives you balance, because when you lock into each other and one person grips the other close and then the other person grips the other close with their differences, it allows you to be stable and it allows you to be balanced. So you like going out to eat probably, but hubby loves your food, but sometimes you're tired of cooking. You want a break, you want to go out, you want to go to the restaurant, you want to try something new, and he's like, no, I want you to cook because I just love your cooking. What that can do, that difference, is provide a balance. So when it's time for you to have a little spice and to kind of ignite the romance, then hobby's difference in wanting to go out will assist that. But when money is tight and you're on a budget and you're saving towards a goal, your difference of wanting to eat at home or vice versa, then that will also help, right? Good. So there's a balance. The balance can definitely be a blessing. And the final thing, the final spill off blessing that is of our difference is that accountability piece. And let me know if you are guilty, because I'm guilty with what I'm about to share. I'm so ashamed, but this is it. I will spend, if my husband allows me, my entire paycheck on grocery. Like literally. I'll go in the store. Rochelle says so true. Yeah, it balance. I will literally go in the store and buy grocery. Not clothes, not shoes. I can keep my clothes and shoes for years and years and years and years. But grocery, yes. I like when I open the fridge and the fridge is filled with food. And I like when the cupboards are filled with food and people come and I cook and I cook for my husband. And if somebody comes, I can pack grocery bag and give them. I love that type of thing. Moshe says, I love the food too, right? Oyside Brown says, having different personalities, etc., is important. My husband likes to write budgets. I don't. Ah, you see what I'm talking about? Now, how can we leverage that? Just some lovely food I will spend on that. See, I'm not alone. So I go to the supermarket and I'm just filling up the trolley. Sometimes I have two trolleys. I'm telling you the truth. Sometimes I have two trolleys, and especially because you try to eat healthy, we buy a whole lot of fruits. When I say a whole lot, I mean I can open a food stall. Literally, I can open a food stall, an entire table filled with fruits. I'm ashamed, but it's the truth. So when I go to the supermarket and honey decides to come with me and walk for the 2-3 hours in the supermarket down every aisle, and I'm picking and I'm picking, I'm picking, and he says to me, "Do you really need that? Do you really need that?" Because he's not so much concerned about buying the food. His concern is when he's ready to eat, that the food is available. It can be cooked and it can be eaten, right? So that accountability piece, because I'm more, should I say reckless? I don't want to say reckless, that's a strong word, but I'm not as keen with spending on grocery. I can be a spendthrift with that. And then the difference now with my husband, it helps to keep me accountable. So what if one of you talks a lot, like chat enough, and the other one is more reserved? You can help to keep each other accountable, because the one who is more reticent, the one who is more reserved, can just kind of pinch you a little bit or drag the dress or drag the coat to say, all right, you're talking too much now. Keep your balance, keep you accountable, right? So those are some of the blessings. And if you have other blessings, let me know. I'd love to find out, all right? The next thing that I would like us to think about is, how can our differences become our superpower in our marriage? Many times when people talk about power couple, they're thinking about what they have in common. So both of them are excellent speakers. Both of them are excellent with fashion and dress. Both of them are very tender and caring. But do you know that the power couple can be as a result of their differences? Think about it. I want us to think about it, and I want you to share with me and share with us in our community. How can the difference between you and your husband become the superpower of your marriage, right? And I would love to see your comments. Rochelle had a comment there, so let's look at that one. I think it was Rochelle or maybe it was OSI, I'm not sure. When I see it come up again, I will highlight it. All right. So let us celebrate the difference by making the difference our superpower. The superpower with my marriage as it relates to difference is the fact that my husband is the natural leader. He creates a vision and he's able to sell that vision and move it strategically from one phase to the next. That's his strength. The difference with me is I'm not as patient as my husband. So he can be patient to work with people and to sell that vision and to hold their hands and wonderful. I'm more of a manager. Yes, I love people and I'm patient, but my husband has a whole lot more patience than I do, right? I'm more of a manager. So we have leveraged that. We have learned, and it took time. It took years for us to leverage that superpower. Now we are power couple. My husband envisions something and he tells me that vision. We discuss it, we agree on it, and then as long as I get that vision planted in my mind and I'm agreeing, girl, when I put the nuts and bolts in place and I manage that and ensure things are running on schedule and everything is going well, we achieve our goals. And we have done it time and time again. I'm going to share a story with you. In 2012, we were looking for a house or a piece of land to buy in Jamaica, because we thought, we need to start building. We need to start building right now. I was about 20, 23 or 24, thereabouts. And my husband came up with this bright idea. It's time. It's time for us to stop paying rent and start investing. So I said, okay, sure. So we're going around and we're investigating, and honey found this scheme, right? This development, housing development, and they were selling land. So my husband calls the developer. He calls the owner and he says, we're seeing this piece of land and we want it. So the gentleman is like, I'm not ready. I'm not so sure if I'm ready to sell. My husband says, yes, you are ready to sell. The man is like, really? He said, yes. My husband says, yes, you're ready to sell. God told me that this is our land and we're ready to buy. My husband told the man that we're ready to buy. Ask us how much money we had in the account. We didn't have any money to buy any land. But he's just a visionary. He's just a visionary. So we go and we clear the land. We have not paid for the land. We have not paid for the land. And we have gotten laborers to cut down the trees and to start survey. We have not yet purchased the land. But that is the type of visionary he is. So when the foundation is set, now I know it's my time to come in. And it's my role to manage that which he has given to the family as a vision, right? So that's how our family works. Another superpower that we have in our family is the fact that I'm able to maintain connection. I'm able to maintain. My husband will meet you and he'll invest in you and all of that, but he's not so good at texting you and calling you every now and again to check up. So I know that that is my role, right? That is my role, okay? Another superpower, as I said before, and this is all differences. These are not similarities that I'm talking about, right? I remember names. Tell me your name, and once I register, I'm not going to forget. My husband is bad at names. He's very, very bad at names, but he'll remember faces. So if we're in public, and it used to happen a lot of times when we go to conventions and other things where the churches are gathered and there are thousands or hundreds of people. For those of you who are from Jamaica and are Seventh-day Adventists, we talk about Camp Verley. So there were many times we'd be at Camp Verley or some function and somebody's coming and my husband is, I remember that face. I remember that face. And the person comes up and says, hi, Pastor Francis, how are you? And my husband is like, I'm good. Nice to see you. And then the person is like, do you remember my? And I just chime in, hi, Alicia, how are you doing today? Because I remember your name. And that's how we work it. And then my husband said, of course, Alicia, I remember you. He's not lying. He's not lying. He remembers your face, but not your name. And that is also one of our superpowers. So I want us to think about that and share together how can our differences become the superpower of our marriage. Rochelle says, where one falls short, one can assist. Exactly. Instead of us bickering and saying, oh, I wish you were like this, and I love this, and you don't like that, and da 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 da. I love sports. You may not love sports, right? That is giving me an opportunity to enjoy something that you like and to widen my horizon so I can learn something from you. Maybe you don't like sports, maybe you like crocheting and he likes sports. You know what I mean? So, or photography or anything like that. So let's celebrate the differences. And the final point that I want to highlight this evening is how can we actually celebrate the differences though? It's all good and well to say, yes, Popsan, differences can be a superpower. Yes, I can identify our differences, but how can we embrace them? How can we identify them and embrace them? Number one, we can embrace our differences by getting out of our comfort zone, and this is not easy. Sometimes getting out of your comfort zone just means not even thinking about it, because thinking may result in overthinking, right? If you're with me, let me know. Just get out of your comfort zone. You don't like going out, you prefer to be at home, but hubby says, hey, listen, Alisa, Rochelle, Karsha, let's go out tonight. Okay, fine. Don't even think about it, because if you think about it, we're going to come up with 1,000,001 reasons as to why we should not do it. Yeah. Okay. The next is to talk it out. Talk it out. Talk it out. I have a difference of opinion. You may have a difference of opinion. Let's have open conversations. And that usually it's going to lead to two possible results. And which is the third? Agree to disagree. Sometimes that has to happen in relationships, in marriages. Sometimes you will never reach a resolution, or let me not say a resolution, but you will never reach an agreement. You will never be on the same page, because I just don't like going out. Sometimes I just not think about it and go with you. There are other times we're just going to agree. The only agreement we're going to reach is to just agree to disagree on the difference. I want to paint the bedroom red. He's like, no, it's white. Red is too dark. Sometimes you just have to agree to just disagree if it's possible. And then another way we can learn to embrace our differences is to reach a compromise. And compromise does not mean that one person is always sacrificing him or herself to make the other person happy. Compromise is what the word suggests. It suggests I'm giving up something and you are also giving up something so that we could meet each other on the middle ground, right? At the middle field, in the middle of the playing field. Because what you have is one person is constantly sacrificing his or her preference. Eventually the person is going to feel cheated and burnt out, as if I'm the one who's always giving 100 and you are just having it your way. So compromise. And then finally, don't force change. Embrace the difference. Embrace the difference and leverage it as a superpower of your marriage. And this is our Speak Wisdom segment. How can we embrace our differences? It is now time for us to head into Folly versus Flourish. If it's your very first time, or Folly is when we look at things that are anti-marriage, things that will not help our marriage to grow, and then the Flourish is the very opposite of that. Common sense, biblical principles that will help our marriage to move from one stage of growth to the next. Folly number one: our differences will destroy our marriage. That couldn't be further from the truth. That's what society says. We have to see eye to eye. We have to have this herd commonality. We have to be in agreement all the time, and that's not true. The Flourish says leverage the difference. Leverage the difference and use it to your advantage in your marriage, where you're not just compatible, but you're complementary. All right. And then Folly number two says we have to have all things in common to be happy. Oh, total stupidity. In fact, not even logical. We will never have all things in common with our husband. If that happens, something is kind of wrong. Is either someone is pretending somewhere, I don't know, but something is off there. You'll never have everything in common. So what's the flourish? The flourish is variety is the spice of life. So embrace it. Embrace the variety. Embrace the difference. All right. So that's it for Folly versus Flourish. We're now going to head into our Arise in Wisdom. This is where we will highlight our vow. And if you agree with the vow, type I vow in the chat. The vow for this evening is to seek understanding and embrace our differences. If that is your vow, not just for the next about 23 hours, but for the rest of your life, or the rest of your marriage, which hopefully is for eternity, type I vow in the chat. I vow. And then the challenge is that practical thing that we do. Janiel calls it our homework assignment, right? Where we're doing this to practice the concepts that we have learned in Speak Wisdom and in Folly versus Flourish. And our challenge for day 17 is try to see things from try to see things his way when on different sides of the fence. And if you don't see things his way, learn to let go of the small stuff. But if it's not very small and it really matters, address the issue and have open communication. If you are accepting this challenge, type in the chat challenge accepted. Challenge accepted. And we're going to be reporting on this tomorrow. I see the I vows coming in. Thank you so much, ladies. And we also have the challenge accepted coming in shortly. In this our final segment, This is our Seek Wisdom segment where we ask the Lord to help us to stay true to our vow and to help us to execute. Thank you for the challenges accepted and to help us execute the challenges. So, if it's your very first time, we get a picture of our husbands, right? Husbands to be, if you're courting, dating, and if you are not courting, not dating, you haven't met him yet, just formulate that wonderful image in your mind. But this time, think about the potential differences that you may have, and we're putting those thoughts to God as we pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you so very much for this evening. We thank you for the opportunity to address yet another important subject of differences because we have heard, we have seen that differences have caused so many marriages to be unhappy places. But today, you have helped us to realize that our differences can be leveraged as a superpower for our marriages. I pray that we may look at our differences with fresh eyes, that we may see that each person's difference can help to complement the other, where one has a preference and the other has a different preference, that we could leverage that to the best of our abilities. We ask that you may bless every marriage represented here tonight. And for those who are not yet married, if it is your will for them to be married, I pray that you may continue to prepare the ladies for that special man. And wherever that man is, that you may prepare him for her. We thank you and we give you praise in Jesus' name. Amen, amen, and amen. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Please remember to subscribe. And when you subscribe, you need to hit the notification bell. You also need to give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, and don't forget to share. As Johnny always says, we're looking in the mirror and we are moving from one step of growth to the next. I'm also going to be linking the playlist somewhere up here for the entire episode. And remember to send in your testimonials because this is the very, very last week, whether it is written or whether it is a 30-minute to 1-minute video, and the video should be landscaped, and send that on over to womenhealingtogether@gmail.com or on Instagram at Women Healing Together. Hi, Julia. Didn't see you earlier. Thank you so much for coming, ladies. Have a wonderful evening. God bless you. And hopefully, we will see you tomorrow, same time, where we will expound and discuss another riveting topic. Bye.